So today's episode, I'm answering the question, should I open a franchise? Now, I think this is kind of a hot potato of a question, and the reason I think that is the question is really too big to handle on just an 8 or 9 minute video that we do on YouTube. So in most instances, from what I see, the franchises are already big business when you start. So if you're going to open one of those, well, you're going to start out, you're probably going to have multiple employees. So if you don't have experience with multiple employees, you better get that experience before you open up a franchise. Now, I don't have experience working in a franchise. I've always been an independent guy, and I started businesses at home, and I've had businesses from home that had as many as 20 employees in different parts of the world that were freelancers or they were contractors or vendors of some kind. Now, a franchise is a whole different ballgame. For example, some of the McDonald's have 150 people working there. How about those Quiznos? They're making sandwiches and so on. They still have a lot of employees. So this is going to take a lot of money. So I think this question is really a hot potato. And I say that because this is really a big deal and probably a lot more than I can answer on one YouTube video. All right, so when you have a franchise, you have a lot of bills to pay. By that I mean you're going to have to pay land rent, you're probably going to have to pay building rent, you're going to have to pay a lot of employees. So you need funding, and a lot of it when you're doing the startup. So there's nothing cheap about it. All right, so you need reserves if you're going to be involved in franchising. Now, I wrote a few notes and did a little research before I started this video, but I did that because I don't want to give you any information that isn't right. I personally have never started a franchise. I've looked at a lot of them. I looked at plenty of them before I started doing the subset of the real estate business because I thought, well, that maybe it'd be a business that I could get involved in. But after I started out, I figured out that there was so many expenses just getting started that you're going to have to get trained with somebody else for a long time before you can get into that business. So my name is Ted Thomas, and I've been involved in a home-based business for the last 30 years. And as I said earlier, I've had all the way up to 20 people working for me from that home-based business. But that's a lot different than a franchise where you have to get things out on time, do it fast, and people are waiting. They don't want to wait for their donuts, and they don't want to wait for their cold hamburgers. They want them hot and heavy. So I've employed dozens, but I've never been in a franchise. Okay, so what is this franchise thing? Well, if you're going to be involved in that, you're going to have to maintain a lot of things. By that, you're going to have to maintain training programs. You're going to have to maintain someone to do their payrolls. You're going to have to do all those. Okay, so what does the customer expect? Well, the customer expects when they walk in the door that you're either going to have warm food that they can buy, or they can buy sweet donuts, or whatever it is that your franchise produces. So that means that you need to understand the pros and the cons, the ownership of one of these franchises, which is going to be a big deal. So people ask me, should you start a franchise? Well, you're going to have to buy one, and when you buy one, you're going to have to pay for that, and then you're going to have to pay for the building and the rest of it. All right. So if you're a freelancer, you're an entrepreneur, and you're trying, I'm not trying to discourage you in any way. Just understand there's going to be a lot of rules to follow. And if you're a person that can follow the rules, this franchising might just be absolutely perfect for you. So I'm not trying to discourage you. I do need to say this is an expensive way to start in a business. Now, I did a little bit of research, and that revealed that this can be an expensive business. What do I mean by that? Well, if you wanted to start like a 7-Eleven, you could do a little research and find some of them you could start for $30,000 or $40,000, but other ones could cost you like $1 million to get started. So think about that before you start. Now, a franchise out in the countryside, that's going to be one thing. What if you got a franchise at the airport? There's going to be two different ways that they're going to run those. So learning about the franchise, you're going to have to put your time in. It's not going to be just get started and you're going to be rich right away. So what's your personality? Is your personality that you like to be told what to do? Or is your personality one you don't like to be told, you want to do what you want to do? What about the environment? Can you like the environment of working in a restaurant? Can you like the environment of working in a tire store? Whatever it might be for that franchise, you're going to have to decide because you're going to have to follow their rules. So their rules might be a step-by-step process. And if you're good at that, well, it might just be perfect for you. So they say some people do very well at franchise because they just follow all the rules. All right, now this may require that you develop new knowledge. Now, what new knowledge are you going to develop? Well, I don't know because I haven't been in the franchise business, but I can tell you if you've got 100 employees, that's going to take a lot of managers. It's going to take a lot of keeping track of people's time because people don't come and just wait to get to payroll. They expect that they're going to get paid. If payday's Friday, they want to get paid every Friday. So you're going to have to get all of that organized. So I'd suggest if you're going to think about doing franchising, you better work and get trained by someone that really knows what they're doing or work within that business for some time. All right, how much money are you going to need? I really don't know because you could start a small franchise for maybe under $100,000, but I know some of the McDonald's franchises already, I just read on the financial page, are over $1 million. Well, folks, that's a lot of hamburgers to pay back $1 million plus all the interest on it. So are you going to form a group? Are you going to have a corporation that's going to fund this whole thing? I don't know. But I mentioned a few minutes ago, a 7-Eleven could cost $35,000 in one place, and a 7-Eleven somewhere else costs $1 million. Well, maybe you want to have a UPS store. Maybe that's what it works for you. Well, I understand just a little bit of research show you might have to invest $180,000 up to $400,000. How about a Taco Bell? That could be up to $1 million. What's my point? My point is this is going to take a lot of planning, and that's why I don't think I can do a good job on an 8 or 10 minute video. All right, now Entrepreneur Magazine, I know, publishes a lot of information about business reports on the different franchises, but all the franchise companies will have reports that they can give you on what's going on. So you're really going to have to drill down deep, and you're really going to have to go chasing down money. You're going to have to make sure that you got money. All right, so I think it's a very expensive way to get started, but if you can get started working at someone else's franchise, maybe you can grow to be the manager of it, and then from the manager you can get your own, or maybe you buy that one from the people that own it, whatever. All right, so this is a big step when you do a franchise. Now, I think 50 years ago, that might have been a different story, but today, this is a big, big business that costs a lot of money. All right, so how do you solve investment problems? I'm going to tell you that would be the problem I would solve first. If you don't have the money and you're not going to work in it, you're going to have some real challenges getting started. All right, so nothing wrong with purchasing the franchise, but understand it's not an entrepreneurial business. It's entrepreneurial for the guy that started the franchise, but you're going to have to stay there and run it. And I think they want to run it pretty much like a machine. Everybody do what they're told to do so that the product stays the same. So when you walk in a franchise, you walk in, you either want that hot meal or you want the donut or whatever. You don't care who the guy running it is. You don't care who runs it. You just are buying into the franchise. So the franchise is not only the product, it's the service, it's everything. So you're buying into that franchise. So they're going to make sure you follow the rules. So lots to learn here. Okay, now my name is Ted Thomas. I got involved in a subset of the real estate business quite some time ago, and that's what most of my videos are about. So stay tuned on this channel. I'll tell you about a business that I started for much less money, and it makes substantial amounts of money. And I'm not an expert on franchising, but I just wanted to give you some heads up, things to think about.